All right, we are here. It is the Dirt Sheet Radio Dynamite recap.
Let's go.
Let the record show this was Tropical Storm Dynamite. For those of you who might not have seen Tony Khan's tweet earlier, they had to do a little bit of shuffling around for this show due to the current tropical storm situation happening on the East Coast. So, Caesar, my friend, you are joining me. Please introduce yourself to everyone.
Safe. How's it going, guys? As always, I'm joining this. Hold on, to get it right. Go this way. This gentleman to my right, or your right, however you want to look at it. As always, I am the Noob Tube on social media, but there are too many platforms to name. I'm not going to sit here and name all of them because we'll be here for a whole episode, and we don't want to do that. We want to sit and enjoy this episode and talk about all the things that are all AEW Dynamite. Like, how about that main event, first of all?
We should, but there's something very notable here. Our friend John Exodero says, "Why is Caesar naked?"
Only because we're trying to provide the best quality content on this stream.
Oh, bro, we got the Tank Boys here.
Yeah, of course, John's on here to wear a tank too.
Yes, our friend John.
And
yes,
Mac
John.
Neat comment, of
course. of course. Mac, how's it going, my man? Can't wait for some of that Mac content. Hopefully tonight, maybe, perhaps. But speaking of tonight, yes, for the flagship show, for those of you wondering, John Escudero won't be on this episode of the Dynamite Recap, but he will be on the flagship show later. Man, this was a crazy show with a crazy night, and we had that amazing main event with the no DQ.
Okay, hold on. First of all, did this episode feel like it was rolling like steady?
I'd say so.
Yeah, like it went from match to promo, and some other garbage we'll discuss later. Secondly, as to kind of quote John, when did it become a no DQ match? I'm still wondering that.
There might have been a tweet nobody saw on Tony Khan's Twitter, but aside from that, yeah, I don't think they really made big note of that. They might have referenced that earlier in the night, but
because I'm hella curious now. Like I didn't, and all of a sudden you just see Jarrett come out with the guitar swinging. You're like, what?
I like the idea he's just going into business for himself and doing that.
I feel like Tony lost a bet. He's like, you know what? I'm changing this match to stipulation.
There you go. This is just the acoustic equalizer, as they used to call it back in the day. But yeah, so what did you think of this main event? We had the legendary Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, who I thought was supposed to be the special referee or enforcer, but then he went on commentary, and I didn't know how to feel about that. But it was appropriate for him to be in the Mid-Atlantic.
Okay, so apparently the card had in huge letters, anything goes. I just found it on Tony's Twitter.
Oh, there you go. It was on Tony Khan's Twitter, his Twitter X.
5 hours ago it shows.
I don't think anyone was really paying attention to that, especially with the announcement that he made earlier that, again, they were going to have some shuffling, perhaps, of the card. Tony mentioned that everyone that was supposed to be on the show, who was at least promoted for it the last several days, actually did make their appearances, so kudos to them. But there was definitely a lot of people missing. Members of Conglomeration were notably absent. We didn't see Billy Gunn come out with the Acclaim, so the travel restrictions definitely impacted several people. And despite that, like you said, Caesar, it felt like the show flowed really nicely, which says a lot, because that was a huge criticism we had for months and even years, is that AEW doesn't know how to really shuffle last minute and change things up.
Yeah, what sucks about it is it's like, you almost want to know, like, was this a blessing that they had some kind of altercation that these people couldn't make it? Like, how would the show have gone if they had these extra 5-10 people? You know what I mean? So
yeah,
you almost want to say that thankfully people couldn't show up,
but in its own way, and we hope that everyone is safe and that everyone that is being impacted by it is going to stay safe, especially one of our friends, Danny Ocean, was out there.
Ooh, that's right. Definitely hope he's safe. I haven't heard anything from him yet. I mean, I haven't looked at their chat, but I hope everything's going well for him.
But yeah, man, let's get into that main event. We had the nice, lovely, classic concession stand brawl. Let's go on that one. I even wrote out in all caps, "Boys, let's go," during that. They took it into the stands. They took it all over the arena. It was great. Caesar, what did you think of that?
I was getting comfy at the beginning, just like, the entrances, and Jarrett came out of nowhere, just completely blasted Danielson with a guitar. Like 10 seconds into his intro? Wham! And
Bam!
I didn't think he was good. I thought I was tripping. I had to rewind the video. So I was like, what the hell what happened? As for the match itself, it served its purpose.
We got breaking news here from Mac. AEW Twitter saying there was a backstage incident with Hangman Jeff Jarrett and Ryan Tony. Kayfabe most likely, but video to come. And in fact, our boy John Escudero hooked us up with that video just now. So, Caesar, talk a little bit more about this match while I get that all set up for us.
So the match itself, there was chairs, there was people were chatting for tables like crazy. We didn't get a tables, sadly, guys. You got two guys that are 40 plus that are knocking the shit out of each other. I'm surprised that I'm surprised that there was only 2 chairs for an anything goes match. Like, I thought there would have been something more. I'm not talking like busted open blood all over the ring. I'm talking like something a little crazier. Hell, even a garbage can or a kendo stick. Just something a little freakier. But hey, we got what we got. And, you want something crazier, wait for All In. In 2 weeks, they said? 2 weeks? Roughly.
Out there, August 25th, right?
Yeah, it's like the last Sunday of the month, too. Oof.
Oh, they were building hard to that one, and I am personally very excited for that. But we got the video.
Max. Oh, video. Okay, let's hear this. Hey, it's Renee Paquette. Oh, no audio. Uh-oh.
Can you not hear it?
Nope. Don't
worry, we can fix that.
By subscribing to our Patreon. Oh, hell no.
Hey, we got the
No, this
Caesar show.
No one wants that camera angle.
All right, let me just fix it.
You're full of shit.
Yeah, August 25th, we're going to have All In Wembley. Can't wait for that. Let's see here, share screen. But yeah, man, I thought this match was crazy. I also really appreciated Jeff Jarrett using Owen Hart's sharpshooter.
He was calling some of the spots when it came to like the holds, and it's not like he was messing up as he was going. Like he was like, oh, it's this, oh, it's this. It's like no, but eventually he did catch on and get it proper. So good job to Shivani. I'm not gonna say Tony right now because there was a lot of Tony tonight. Gotta be
Tony's tonight.
Yeah, Tony, this.
Max saying, oh no, they're doing the Hangman and Jarrett in London.
Free show. I'm sorry. I completely agree with Mac. I hope that makes Mac feel better about my last opinion I made. He knows what opinion I'm talking about. But if they do Hangman and Jarrett, my credit card just suddenly disappeared. Like, we don't really need that. You have the video ready, or are you still trying to?
Yeah. So let's see. Tell me if we hear this.
Nah. You should have it muted by accident on your end. You should have Twitter muted, like your tab.
Nope. All right. Well, don't worry. I have a backup plan, and it is currently processing as we speak. So we will get that video out to you shortly. But the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Deathmatch champion, Jeff Jarrett, managed to get defeated by Bryan Danielson.
I actually forgot about that match.
I'm sure everyone did. I'm sure Jeff Jarrett probably forgot about that.
I mean, accidentally, not on purpose, actually.
Oh, no. You can never forget about that match on purpose, either.
Yeah.
All right, but while that video is processing, yeah, man, this was, again, a crazy match. Danielson still has Wembley. Swerve was watching this match very closely and with intent. Lots of respect all around at the end. We had hands shaking. We had Ricky the Dragon Steamboat posing and lifting the arms of both Jeff Jarrett and Bryan Danielson, with Jeff Jarrett having a real gnarly gash right behind his ear, like along his jaw. That was brutal.
They always said ear. They never specified specifically. Like, he basically got a bloody beard, you could call it.
All right, well, we got the video up in another way, so let's check this out.
Jeff Jarrett after tonight's main event. I mean, what an incredible, hard-fought battle from Jeff Jarrett. Jeff, you didn't get the win tonight, but do you think that Bryan is ready for All In?
Renee, after everything that's gone down, all the words that it said, there is no doubt in my mind that I did everything in my power. Absolutely everything.
Oh, me! Get your hand off! Get your ass off! Get your ass off! Get out of my way! Get your hands off! Get your hands off! I'm going somewhere! He's out here now! I'm going out here now! He's out here now! You get out of my way! Get back! Let me go! Let me go! Let me go! He's out here now! Let me go! Let me go! Let me go!
Man, security has been busy tonight.
I almost want to be like, all right, now to the person in the back row with a question. You have questions for these two girls? Like we're on Jerry Springer.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting all of a sudden Tony Storm and Ryan May to just pop in on screen there.
Like, what was the point of that? Like, all of a sudden you just I just saw like Mariah's wrestling gear, and I'm like, wait a sec. And then I clued in. I was like, wait a sec. What the hell? What are they doing?
Where did they even come from? Were they just fighting this whole time? With security like, oh crap, here, hold them. But then like they just broke free.
No, be honest. What the hell did Hangman do? Like, did he just grab what's his face's arm and then pull him?
I mean, you know what, man? Where I come from, that's fighting, and sometimes people will pull some sort of heater on you on that one.
But it made no sense. It's just like, if you're gonna hit him, just hit him. That's what I'm getting at.
I get that. Mac, our boy's saying, it wouldn't be Wembley Stadium time if there wasn't a brawl. Mac, you know they're supposed to be saving that for backstage at the event itself.
Remember, no one's going to get in trouble with CM Punk this year.
That's okay. Just wait for CM Britt. She was supposed to wait a few more weeks.
Oof.
Let's see. John Earl, Johnny Ward II. Great name. Mariah Antonio, the modern day Flair and Steamboat, LOL. You know what? I respect the reference. If Ric Flair was still present, I guarantee he probably would have been a part of this whole Mid-Atlantic reunion they were planning.
Would he be Tony?
He would have to be Tony.
You think so?
World champion. I mean, I could see Mariah May easily being the world-traveled Ricky Steamboat.
I still can't believe she's only been wrestling for a few years, too. That's the freaky part. In a good way.
Absolutely.
And then, and not to steal Mac's thunder, but you're gonna be surfing Twitter pretty soon, and you're gonna see just announced live at Wembley Stadium. I hate to say this, but if we see that, I would be so like, I don't know what to say.
Man, it'll happen. But let's go. Speaking of Wembley, we had Swerve Strickland coming out at the very end, causing mass disrespect. Swerve mentioning there are 3 legends of the Turner Network that all of these people saw. Jeff Jarrett, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and of course, the world champion Swerve Strickland. Whose house?
Swerve's house.
Got that right. Yo,
no, that was great because like he's just trying to push Bryan's buttons super hard, and you can tell Bryan's not gonna freak out and like start smacking the shit out of him, but you can tell it's affecting Bryan a little bit in some way or another, which is doing well. So next week, because we looked at it, Swerve Strickland has the world championship, and he brought up a very valid point. Bryan Danielson has not been a world heavyweight champion on the Turner Networks. Nope.
Ricky has, Jarrett has, Swerve has. Danielson is missing out, and Swerve is bringing up those points where Danielson is somewhat of a broken man. He has had how many matches over the decades? He's wrestling so hurt as we speak.
I mean, for a hurt man, he's doing better than somebody. Phil. Sorry, congestion.
Did you just insult Phil?
No. No, it's. I mean, okay. I'll be completely brutally honest. When I was sitting there listening to the references, I went stupid for a second because he's like, the 3 of us have been champions on this network, and I'm like, no, they haven't. And then you mentioned the whole thing about them with the WCW thing. I'm like, oh my god,
the deep cuts, they just keep coming.
I completely forgot about that because I'm the late generation, and it's like the late 90s 2000s generation when I started.
Right.
So, I mean, I still know about older wrestling, but not as much as, some people, like our resident host, John, who knows everything.
Some of the nerds.
Or he's,
our fellow nerds. We got Max saying Swerve on to prove himself next week, saying he was going to do it by facing Wheeler Yuta was anticlimactic. Choose Claudio, you coward.
Honestly, I actually give Mac that one. Because I'm sorry, but like I feel like Claudio's a bigger dude, but like Swerve could go with him for like a 10 to 20 minutes. Where I feel like with Yuta, I don't know. I don't know how good or bad that would go.
Yeah, honestly, the way I see it,
I feel like with how it's gonna go is like I said, don't get me wrong with the whole Swerve thing with Yuta, but again, you see how Claudio handles himself in the ring by himself. It just screams that it should have been Swerve and Claudio, and I completely agree with Mac on that one. It feels like those two would make a bigger warm-up match for the Danielson Swerve situation, whereas Yuta just feels like a match they could have had like 6 months back on a random episode of Dynamite.
Yeah, I know they did do Swerve and Claudio a few months back on Collision, and we're just gonna completely ignore this request entirely. We're never referencing Matt Taven ever.
I've got a statement to make about him later. So
we'll get to that. I know you've got that one on standby, and I was hoping Mac would be in these comments because I was waiting for that.
I hope Max sees the same statement as mine. But anyways, back to the more important stuff.
Right. I know that might have been the reason that they didn't go with Claudio was just because they did that on Collision a few months back. But still, even then, give us the rematch.
Not everyone watches Collision, assholes. Some of us can't watch it up here.
But dude, yeah, Claudio and Swerve would have absolutely slapped. And I think Swerve really missed out on an opportunity to talk about Wheeler Yuta, get a little bit more intensity going into this. Be like, hey, Yuta, remember how they were all chanting your name? Now you are just a side note in that whole group. Something like that. Because everyone else in that group was a world champion.
He wishes he was a side note.
He's just not. He's literally the one that they beat up all the time.
He's just the whipping boy in the group. That's all he's become.
That's absolutely what he is. And I kind of saw the writing on the wall for this because of the last couple of weeks they've been doing promos and vignettes where Danielson's been training alongside Wheeler Yuta for this big match. So it's like, okay, he's getting ready to take on Yuta at some point, but it's like, why Yuta?
Anybody would have been better. I mean,
I do hope it's a good showcase at least.
Mox isn't injured, is he?
I don't think so. I believe he was touring. Let's see.
Because I know last time I checked, he wasn't. What's it called? He wasn't IWGP champion anymore. So I think it's like somebody else, isn't it?
Maybe I know. Yeah, Moxley. I think his last match was Forbidden Door. I want to say. That Mac, that's a fair point. We shouldn't disrespect Wheeler Yuta. It's just I feel like Yuta.
They could do something better.
Yeah, like when you look at a main event where it's Swerve versus Yuta, it doesn't have the same panache to it that you would have with Swerve and Claudio. Two heavyweights. Panache.
You heard him, folks. Panache.
Max saying it's reported that Mox is finally getting time off after dropping the belt. That makes sense. He deserves it. The amount of times this guy has been ready to go on vacation and someone did something and had to come back. I'm sure he was getting ready too when he heard that Britt did a fight backstage and caused all this chaos. Man's got PTSD.
I hate that shit.
All right. Well, that was pretty much all we had for that main event. If you had any last points to throw on there, Caesar?
No, let's get back to the top of the show. I got a question for you about this one, actually.
Yes, sir. We'll go to the top of the hour, but right before we get there, I do want to point out we had two dark matches before AEW Dynamite number 253 went on the air.
Oh, God.
Satnam Singh,
What were they?
Satnam Singh with Jay Lethal and Karen Jarrett in his corner defeated Colt Cabana.
Pass.
Another dark match, Serpentico once again gets another victory in a dark match, this time against the local wrestler JD Inc.
Okay, I would have watched that, actually.
Yeah, for those that don't know, Serpentico goes on a little bit of a dark match streak lately. He has been defeating local jobbers, left, right, front, center, you name it.
Are we gonna put him as the world champ pretty soon? All of a sudden,
it's about time. Give us what we want. TK, build those stars.
3-85.
I'll get ready. It's the reverse Goldberg, but nah, it's going to be the reverse Gilbert. Who's first? Yeah, we already got several ready to go. But
shit.
We're getting ready to talk about world champions. Look no further than the American title eliminator match. We had Maxwell Jacob Freedom coming out there representing the good old US of A, and he was out there taking on Kyle Fletcher, or as he's been calling him, Coil Fletcher.
Coil Fletcher, and the kangaroo kick. No, I was gonna say, did the theme songs sound quieter tonight on the show? Like, they don't sound as big and poppy as they did on other episodes, or was it just me?
I can't.
It really sounded like a step down in audio. I mean, that sounds like a little nitpicky thing to bring up, but I just thought I'd ask you about that.
You are very much a music guy, so I know if anyone would notice that, it would be you.
Yeah. And then secondly, did MJF's theme sound like a different altered theme?
That was the one I did notice. I didn't really notice anything when it came down to the level of the audio, but to be honest, I wasn't paying attention to that. But to your other point, yes, I believe MJF was coming out to the more American version.
It was like the same intro, and then when the beat kicks, it changed over to the other song. Oh my goodness, I'm not good at American history and stuff like that, but it sounds like one of those like big band kind of theme songs.
As it should be.
But yeah, it's no. We'll mention it. We'll mention it during the actual segment. Don't worry. It's not me being like, "Ew, he's there, gross." It's actually a critique. It's actually a good critique. But anyways,
Mac, the future host for the Mac Taven podcast, where it will be Mac talking nonstop every day, every week about Matt Taven.
He'll have like a list of Matt Taven facts.
Remember WWE 24/7? It'll be like that, but just for like Matt Taven stuff only.
It'll be just like a TikTok video every episode. Max in front of the camera for 30 seconds. Hey guys, this Matt Taven fact number 455. He drinks water.
55. Bro, what did you think of this match?
This was actually a pretty good match. I'm not gonna say it's like a 10 out of 10 or like a Dave Meltzer 5 out of 5 or 9 out of 5 kind of thing. Yeah. But to showcase the fact that Fletcher is going, and they actually give him a bit of a push, this one was pretty sweet to see.
Absolutely.
I'm not too high on the Proto Star thing yet, but I'm not against it. I am against the fact that he's been basically just hanging out, doing nothing in the background, and all of a sudden they give him this match, and he was like a 20-minute match probably.
Oh, yeah, at least.
Yeah, because I really said they got to 15, and I heard, we're halfway through the Eliminator match. So I hope it keeps going. I hope he keeps going. You have to admire when he does certain moves. He screams like he's being murdered. It's great.
Everybody's getting ready to do it too. He's got the full like anime motion where just make sure to get all in there.
It's like some kid who's like smashing keys to like learn the final move, and then it says push this button to use special powers, and that's Kyle Fletcher.
Dude, I always think Kyle Fletcher's getting ready to use the Kaioken or something like that.
I'm afraid he's gonna start doing a bicycle kick across my screen.
Breaks through the TV into someone's living room.
Suddenly, Liu Kang came across the screen, which is if you know, you know. But anyways, also, did you notice they're calling it the American Championship?
I did.
But they're also calling it from Will Ospreay's side the International Championship.
I do kind of like the different forms where it's like whoever wins this is almost dictating the name of the championship. And did you see we also had a reference to the original name, the All Atlantic Championship, since
I did hear that.
The Mid-Atlantic region, so I thought that was a nice
but again, not to be this guy, but you didn't notice I can't remember who was it might have been you or John that might have mentioned this. Why is the Japanese flag on there?
Yep.
Like no hate towards the Asian cultures, but like that's Pacific, not Atlantic.
No, that is very true.
And I'm not an expert in geography, but you know,
That was such a OCD issue for me with that All Atlantic title. So when they changed it to the international title, I was like, thank you. That was the change that was needed. But dude, you want to speak about, someone that was a great wrestler out in the Pacific in Japan. Let me tell you, Kyle Fletcher came off like such a star when
Oh my God.
MJF was on the other side of the railing. Fletcher just threw himself full flechette into him and then goes up the stairs and is posing like this with the crowd, and the whole crowd was chanting for Kyle Fletcher and was chanting AEW. That moment really stood out to me, and I was looking at this and I'm like, if they keep the ball rolling on this guy, this kid's gonna be a huge star for them.
It's not if, it's they need. Because that's what, 2 weeks in a row now he's been getting heat or a push, and it feels like it's getting organic. My question is, they did a chant tonight with Kyle Fletcher. It was something, and then oi oi oi, and I wonder if it was Aussie Aussie Aussie.
Yeah, they kept doing that from what I was able to hear, and especially too any other times Kyle would do it, and I think the crowd just rolled with it, and it was nice to hear that all again.
We need the back. We need the boys. There's only two. One's missing.
We need Davis. Where is he? He's still hurt.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's just hanging in catering, like not fully injured, not fully healed. Like he's just making appearances. Because the day he's back, he's gonna destroy somebody.
Absolutely. Like, I know a lot of people have been saying online, when Davis comes back, he's just going to be holding Kyle Fletcher back. I don't think so at all. Davis is a great talent himself, especially for such a big guy. And with
like
how
6'5"?
Oh yeah, 6'5", 6'6". He's like what, like 250, 300 pounds.
He towers over Kyle.
Yeah, dude is a super heavyweight and is an amazing guy. And with AEW, hopefully going back to embracing the meat soon, I hope that he is another one that they heavily reinforce and consider. Especially in a potential Don Callis family civil war, perhaps.
Oh, I know. Let's do that. Let's get that going.
Don't know if you guys saw the promo backstage with Fletcher and Ospreay, but Fletcher was begging Will to hit the Tiger Driver. Ospreay said he can't do it, not even to MJF, because he hurt Bryan to the point that he couldn't hold his child.
No, I didn't see that one. I might have left the room for a second.
I don't recall that one, but man, I love the deeper storytelling that they've been doing, especially regarding the relationship and the friendship between Ospreay and Fletcher, and just Ospreay consistently not thinking he can hit that Tiger Driver anymore because of the damage it's caused.
You think he'll use it at All In?
That's why it was an internet only.
I mean, yeah, I knew that.
He has to. He has to do it. That's the time.
The way he ends the match. It should be like he hits one, it's over. MJF's TV for like a month or something.
One of the biggest parts of this whole match was when Don Callis came down to ringside, and it was honestly pretty even. It was back and forth, and it seemed like each guy was really getting ahead of the other. And then Don Callis comes down to try and bring out the screw job finish, if you will. The screwdriver getting thrown to the side while he's distracting the ref. Kyle Fletcher takes the screwdriver and is getting ready to stab it right into the head of Maxwell Jacob Freedom. And as he's getting ready to do it, he hesitates. And it's the same level of hesitation that Will Ospreay has with that Tiger Driver. I guarantee they're going to call back to this moment when the time comes.
Honestly, I don't understand the screwdriver situation, because it's like, every time he does, like, he throws the screwdriver, everyone always hesitates. So
you gotta do it.
Sorry, Don. You're not gonna get your way every time.
I think about the fact that Tony Schiavone was like, a guy like this doesn't deserve a screwdriver to the head. Tony Schiavone, you are amazing. Speaking of things with driver in the name, we got to talk about Kyle Fletcher was working really hard on getting that pile driver on MJF throughout the match. He kept failing, and finally he hit it. And I'm not going to lie, I thought that he was going to potentially even get the victory there. But that's also me as a biased Kyle Fletcher fan. I'll admit.
Yeah. No, I see it.
Yes, Mac bringing up a good point. Ospreay not hesitating when he was facing Kenny Omega last year at Forbidden Door. Hit Kenny with it while he had him in the one-winged angel. which I love the fact too, where it's one of those things where you got to do something, because when you're getting ready to be hit by the one-winged angel, you know it's game over at that point. So you got to do anything that you can, any means necessary, to get out of there.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm pondering if we're going to see a little bit more too from that relationship with Don Callis and Will Ospreay, because when the match ended, MJF got the victory. Again, it was a fantastic match, but when the camera went backstage and we saw that the locker room area was blocked off, Will Ospreay was barricaded, having to shoulder charge and shoulder block as much as he could into the door before finally clearing those production cases that were in the way. And he's trying to get to the ringside as fast as he can. Meanwhile, MJF is attacking and he is brutalizing everyone. He destroys the referee. He kills Fletcher.
Next week, MJF gets a fine, $50.
Absolutely,
or something.
Brutalizing them to the point where Fletcher was bleeding all over the place. He was even gushing blood at one point. And finally, Ospreay sprints to the ring, and I was very happy that we didn't have to hear the theme music, because it always bothers me when someone's like, "Hey, bro, play my theme song so I can run out here." I'm glad it was just a quick there's no time for that.
Especially with his theme song, has a build up and then a break and then it goes back in. That would have killed the mystique.
Absolutely.
Immediately.
Because then it's Mac bringing up something that a shout out here to the legendary Mama Luraco. She also brought this up. I even wrote it in a little quote here. What if it wasn't MJF who locked Ospreay in, but it was Don Callis? Mac also
what if they're working together?
You know, the two biggest scumbags in all of AEW working together, man, I can see it.
Technically, one's our scumbag and one is just a scumbag.
That's valid. And remember, a lot of people who are part of that Don Callis family, such as Roosh, they have done jobs for MJF in the past. So.
Don's just recruiting anybody at this point. You off camera? You're not doing anything? Here, come with me.
Absolutely. Don Callis leading them all to the promised lands.
Yeah, promised land, open grazing lands. You can shoot them.
Another point that I really would like to note here was I wrote this down in my notes, and I have it in all caps and underlined and everything. I loved how at the very start they kept talking, and for 5 minutes straight they wouldn't shut up about the number Brian Cage did to Kyle Fletcher on Saturday. And I think if you're going to have a monster like Brian Cage lose a match, I'm glad that you at least keep talking about the punishment that the winner is having and still dealing with days later. So I thought that was a nice touch, and honestly added a little level to not just this match, but a little bit of something for Brian Cage, and he deserves that. Again, I want them to push monsters much more
and make them effective, not just cool.
Absolutely. Now, I don't know if you noticed too from this match, another part I put in my notes right under that was the arena looked packed tonight.
Which is pretty good considering how things have been going, if you know, like always.
Exactly. Not to mention the tropical storm happening.
Maybe that brought more people together.
Is it bad? I was kind of considering that same thing. I was thinking, I'm so sick of dealing with the storm. I just want something to get my mind off of it.
Do you know what the attendance was? Because I definitely have no idea what it was.
Not sure, chat. If anyone knows, feel free to throw it out there. But arena looked great, and it was nice that they were able to light up the audience at ringside.
No, but we want it in WWE term or AEW terms, not WWE. So if you know the numbers in proper terms,
yes, the turnstile count.
Yeah, specifically the turnstile count.
Turnstile count, getting ready for Wembley, baby. Let's go. And speaking of getting ready, the next segment we had Jeff Jarrett versus Bryan Danielson promo. Nothing special apart from just getting us all set up for what that main event was. If any of you are just joining us, scroll back to earlier in this or wait for us to be done with the show and rewatch this, because we talked about that at length. Following that, we had the Glamour, Mariah May, taking on Viva Van. Dude, Viva Van's been getting a lot of appearances lately. Good for her. Let's see. On this one, I didn't have very many notes. I have seen, like I said, Viva Van around on Ring of Honor and Rampage a lot, so it was nice to be able to see her on Dynamite. And I also appreciated the callback when Mariah May turned heel against Toni Storm. She stared daggers into Aubrey Edwards throughout the match and even went face-to-face with her, and I appreciated that. But any opinion on that match, Caesar?
I'm scrolling looking for the numbers, but I found one set of numbers. I doubt it's very wrong, but I don't know. I'm in more so like actually keeping an eye on. I've been enjoying this whole Mariah May being like a psycho angle, because instead of just her copying Tony all the time from before, like that was cool. Now it's just like she's a bitch. And then throughout the match, I wrote it down actually, also in my notes, actually, like you did. But mine was they were chanting, "We want Tony," and then we don't, or "No, we don't," back and forth. And that was pretty funny because all of a sudden you hear, I think it's Excalibur. He's like, "No, they mean Tony Storm, not you, Shivani." I'm just like, oh.
That crowd was heavily split, and I appreciate it.
So I don't know how true this is. So I found some numbers while we were talking right there.
Throw me some numbers.
This. So it says here, according, this is from like a few hours back, so the numbers could have changed. Like this was like posted before the show, it sounds like, but still from today. It says the arena was set for 2,666 seats.
Okay.
But they were only at about 1,887.
But you know what? Honestly, I'll take it. That's not bad. Especially it looked great on screen, on camera. And I hope that if they don't fill it up, that they still light up the people that are there, because it looked awesome.
Well, I was also going to say that was 9 hours ago. So the numbers could have changed heavily. They could have to open up more seating all of a sudden. So that's what I was going to say, is that could have changed in the 9 hours. But
well, hopefully anyone, again, I'm not going to get too crazy and carried away with numbers and things like that, because again, you know, tropical storm, Olympics, but you know, everyone's going to say, oh, they're finding excuses, or hey, this was going on. But enough tribalism. We're here to talk wrestling. That's what we're here for. We love it.
And hopefully everyone is safe as well. Don't forget that.
Absolutely. But who wasn't safe was Viva Van. She was getting annihilated in this match. She got a little bit of... Exactly, dude. She got like a little bit of contact in there against Mariah, but it wasn't much. And that was during commercial as well. So, yeah, Viva Van got destroyed well into the commercial break. And yes, once again, I forgot to switch over to watch it on Fightful. But you know what?
I hate the new name for them, but I'm not going to get into a big match about it right now.
You know what I want to say, though? If you don't be like me, make sure that you go and use NordVPN. You're going to get 72% off your first month when you sign up for a full 12 months. Where do you got to go for that? I'll tell you where you got to go. Make sure you go to comicbookclick.com/dirtsheetradio. So make sure you go there, scroll all the way to the very bottom of the page, and you have your opportunity to subscribe to NordVPN and NordPass. Go and keep yourself safe. Don't be like Viva Van getting annihilated by Mariah May. That could be you on the internet. Make sure that you are not the jobber. Make sure you are the one squashing anyone and everyone trying to get at you and your internet safety.
Don't forget to mention, you know, making Comic Book Click your home page. That's always a good idea too.
Ooh, yeah. Bookmark it. Make it your home page. Make it like just your only page you ever go to.
Matter of fact, stop watching us for like 30 seconds and go do it, and then come back to us. You know, two taps.
Boom. That's the perfect way. If you got two monitors, hey, there you go. We just gave you the opportunity to
just steal your friend's TV from downstairs in your house and use that for a monitor now.
Oh, exactly.
Make a friend have that first.
Exactly. Your friend got the TV that only displays the Sonic menu. I don't know where they got that TV from, but you know, they should be displaying comicbookclick.com/dirtsheetradio.
Specific comicbook.cloud. Whatever. I haven't had any caffeine for like 6 hours now. All right, what's next? Oh god.
We gotta talk about the end of the match as Mariah May gets the victory over Viva Van.
Did that surprise you?
Nope, but she does receive a mysterious parcel. She unwraps the package, and it's a frame of her being held by Toni Storm. She looks at it, relives the memories of sorts. Except, what happens when it's turned around?
I
Die, Mariah, die.
I thought it said on the back that I'm here at first when I saw it. I was like, what the hell?
I was thinking of the Sideshow Bob thing from The Simpsons, where it's like, no, it's the Bart, the.
Yeah, it's DA or whatever the hell he says. That's so stupid because, like,
No, we don't, Mac.
I mean, in GTA maybe, but not in this.
Stay tuned for the GTA live stream. Probably never going to happen, but now that I said it, let's manifest it.
Dude, I'd be down to do that. Just like a bunch of DSR hosts trying to go to GTA.
The Bart, the. Exactly, Mac.
You know someone got that for a tattoo for sure. You know.
Oh, they had to. Oh, I feel like people got that, and everyone had to also get like the monorail tattoo. Ooh. But coming in like a monorail, coming in like a train, we had all of a sudden the shoe. It's timeless Tony Storm, and she is pissed. Watch for the shoe as Tony Storm attacks, and the referee corps have to come out and break it up. You gotta know security was
Cheesecake.
Busy. This wouldn't have happened on a Cheesecake's watch.
Dude, Cheesecake could have just stood in the middle and blocked both of them. Cheesecake for next champion.
Oh, Cheesecake all the way.
Cheesecake and Danielson Grand Slam.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but you know what? Danielson would have a great match with anyone, and I could see him having a great match with head of security.
I still say, I don't know what year it was from, was Kota Ibushi versus the Training Doll. You ever see that match?
Oh, yeah.
That's
not just any train. That is Yoshihiko.
No, but I mean, like, to be simple to people who don't know the doll is. But yeah, I know the name. But I mean, like, I watched that match a few times, and I was like, how is this more entertaining than some stuff on this side of the world?
Hey, we can't be this in Yoshihiko. That is the GOAT. I remember specifically, and this is something you fans of Dirt Sheet Radio keep manifesting this for me, that we need to get a whole live stream for that 2009 going into 2010 New Year's Eve 108 person scramble, because we got Yoshihiko coming out to Real American. You can't get any better than that, folks.
That is pretty patriotic.
Exactly. Help me manifest this, chat.
You know who probably could have beaten Yoshihiko? Hiroshi Takahashi's best friend Daryl.
I thought so hard. You were getting ready to say Matt Taven.
No, I wasn't.
Like,
no! I was trying to pronounce his name because I know Hiroshi Tanahashi is the New Japan boss, and the names are so close.
I am walking with Tanahashi. But yeah, so
Daryl versus Yoshihiko, Wrestle Kingdom.
Book it. So we had Tony Storm, Mariah May into a huge brawl. Security and referees are busy tonight. We've seen a lot of fighting. They even fought to the backstage area, and they've been fighting apparently for the last hour or so, because we saw them still fighting into that brawl with Jeff Jarrett following his match with Danielson when he got into it with Hangman.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Just nonstop fighting. I love it. Keep it going.
Imagine this being like a wrestling show or something. Like
wrestling on, I don't know what.
Like, what's up with that, right?
Caesar, what are you thinking for this upcoming match in Wembley? You excited for it?
The Tony Mariah one?
Tony and Mariah.
Oh, I'm full send on Mariah's side.
I feel like this is probably like one of the top matches for Wembley, and I think this is the one that has probably some of the most hype going into it.
I'm on Mariah's side. Is she gonna win? I want to say yes, but I'm trying to figure out how to do it without just being like, "Oh, here's the belt, go away." You want it to be like, "Here's the belt." You want it like a la Mariah, not just cool. So
yeah, I won't lie. This is probably one of the matches when I'm looking at the card for All In Wembley, August the 24th, live on pay-per-view. This is probably the match. That and Swerve and Danielson are the two I'm looking the most forward to. Not that any of the others won't deliver, but
I'm just looking forward to it being a good card. And so far, it sounds like it's going to be a good card.
It's going to be solid. Like we've said for the last several weeks, it might not be the card that we were hoping for or makes the most logical sense leading into it, but it's going to be great.
There's a couple things that I'm still wishing that are going to appear on this card, but I'm not pressuring for them. One being the actual tag team championships, but I'm not going to lose sleep if it's not on the card. The Continental Championship, I could give a rat's ass less if it's on there. The trios belts.
Match is getting ready for Collision. We'll get to that in a little bit.
Woo!
For the trios. But speaking of Wembley, Darby Allin had a promo on the Scapegoat, basically showing up to All In. Scapegoat shouldn't have any excuses going into Wembley. For a lot of people, we had a Scapegoat promo that was interrupted by Taco Bell.
Believe it or not, we didn't have that over here. I didn't see a commercial because we're on a different network, thankfully. But I'm thinking we cut because I was in the other room and I heard something change.
I know there were like 2 Taco Bell commercials in a row. I went into the other room to go and grab a snack. And yeah, all of a sudden I'm like, why are they playing that same commercial again? So I think that was around the time that happened. FTR claim, get hyped. Mac, come on, you're not throwing Matt Taven in there alongside Bennett.
I'm just waiting for him to randomly in the middle of a stream just be like, Matt Taven. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. We'll be streaming about something like Yumi and John or whoever's doing Dynamite, and Matt's just gonna roll up and be like, Matt Taven. That's it.
I hope so.
That's all he's ever gonna say. So how about that main event? These 6 people, Matt Taven.
Don't worry, we'll be getting to that shortly.
Yeah.
We had the battle of the nicknames. We had the Bad Apple, Bryan Keith, taking on the Wrestler, Katsuyori Shibata. Bounty Hunter, Bad Apple Bounty Hunter, entering with a new intro and Contron. It was actually pretty cool, I'm not going to lie.
His pants go any higher up, I'm going to start calling him Solo Sokoa.
Oh, I have only love and respect for the Bounty Hunter, the Bad Apple, and only love and respect for our learning tree. 109 days as our for the world champion.
He sounds like somebody who's like battling sobriety more than an actual champion at this point.
Oh man, I don't know if we'll go there, but yo, this was a stiff bout. And honestly, this was exactly the match that I was expecting from these 2 guys.
Oh, no, I completely agree. It was not going to be like a barn burner or like a 5-star match. It was just going to be that match that's like brutal, fit the card, kept the show rolling, but it wasn't anything similar.
Yeah, that's one of the unfortunate things, especially too with where it's placed. It was just like it's got to be slightly more than Mariah May Viva Van, but at the same time, because that got crazy with the last segment, so this was kind of carryover for storytelling purposes.
Yeah, I don't know. Also, they didn't call him the Redwood tonight. Hey, you notice that?
What did they call him? Just Big Bill?
Just Big Bill. That's it. Big Bill.
I don't know, but one of the biggest things that I want to point out, did you notice Shibata popping out the Iron Claw?
Oh my god, I know. No, you know what we're supposed to say, right? Because they didn't call him Redwood Big Bill. You know what we're supposed to do, right?
Huh.
We're supposed to flash up the graphic that says WWE Inbound.
Exactly.
That's the logic now.
It's a sign. Oh, I can't believe they buried him already.
Yeah, buried, didn't signed, quick switch companies.
Exactly.
Matt Taven.
Dude, we got to talk about for a second, though. Shibata finally pulling out the Iron Claw. Man has been trying to get the Von Erichs, especially Kevin Von Erich, to teach him how to do it. So it was cool to be able to see that. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, check out Ring of Honor.
Ooh, or was it like 2 weeks ago, Collision?
Yeah, they did on Collision too, didn't they?
Yeah, it was Dusty and the Von Erichs. What a match that was. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good match. Sorry, Dustin, yeah.
No, it was great. I'm so happy that they were able to sign the Von Erichs, even if it's a short-term deal. It's nice to always see them. They should try to sign them full-time, though, please, Tony. Especially with so many others leaving or signing elsewhere.
I think he wants to give them a run and see how they do. Like, not like popular, or not like how good they are, but he still wants to see how they vibe with the crowd. Hell, maybe he could change their contract all of a sudden. I mean, he has money.
Exactly, extend them, because we've got the rumor mill going crazy with the Lucha Brothers leaving AEW. We've got the Hardys, they've left and allegedly might be going to WWE. No one knows what the status is for Motor City Machine Guns, but most likely WWE as well.
I don't see the Hardys going that way, because apparently they started doing stuff with TNA Impact.
Anyone that does anything with TNA, I still think, because they got that relationship with WWE and NXT.
I mean, like, I don't see them going straight to WWE. I think they'll hang out in TNA for like a little bit, dance with some people, get some like rubs, and then take off. You know what I mean? Like, don't
Yeah.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket kind of thing. Lucha Bros, I don't know. I've been reading a lot of rumors about that whole thing. And so far, it's like like the needle hasn't moved to like the left or the right. It's just staying.
Fielding offers, which, I mean, hey, remember, that was what we were hearing with Daniel Garcia, and he was heavily considering NXT, and look at everything that was going on with Ethan Page and Shawn Spears, jumping ship.
The one thing that I have read, it's like they're saying that apparently the offers are pretty similar so far. So that's it.
Well, that's good, at least to meet that offer. Max saying the Hardys met with WWE to shoot stuff in Cleveland for SummerSlam weekend. Oh yeah, like if WWE is going to go after any like big tag teams, no disrespect to Motor City Machine Guns or the Lucha Brothers, but the Hardy Boys themselves are so world renowned and so widely associated with WWE. Nothing bad can ever happen from signing those two. Now, that's not me saying nothing bad can happen if you put them as champions, because there's stuff I'm not going to get into there, but the nostalgia pop that they will receive every single day. People love Jeff. People love Matt. They always think so fondly of their Attitude Era backgrounds. And fact of the matter, they're Attitude Era wrestlers who can still go.
Mm-hmm.
So do what you will with that. But they show up in WWE.
I wouldn't be surprised if the I want to say an acronym, but I can't because there's too many letters. But I wouldn't be surprised if Motor City follows the Hardys, because I feel like the Hardys and Motor City know each other for like longest time. Like I know the Lucha Bros are pretty popular too, but I don't think they're as close. But that's just my personal view on this thing. So
yeah, I do, Mac, agree with the thing where I'm not saying Matt Hardy's going to put on like a 5-star classic or anything, but
I totally agree with you on that one.
For what you need Matt Hardy for, to do tag team matches with Jeff, which is inevitably how they're going to use them, I think he's going to be perfectly fine in that regard.
I mean, it would be kind of crazy to see is if all of a sudden somehow Matt did his Woken. No, wasn't Woken on the Indies and Broken was on the...
Yeah, Woken was TNA and Indies, and then... Or I'm sorry, Woken was WWE.
Yeah, there we go. What if he did his Broken thing or his Woken thing with like somehow towards the Wyatt 6 if he came back?
Hey, just saying, Matt Hardy had that connection with Bray.
It was a good one.
Jeff reigniting Willow and joining? I don't know. He doesn't have to be a part of it. He can always just be an associate. I think it would be smart to call into that. But this is the AEW Dynamite show, so we'll get back to that.
Let's see.
We had Shibata beating the Bounty Hunter before getting jumped by Jericho and his cronies before we heard the theme song. The signal hits the roof of the arena. Send Hook. The kid is back.
And wearing an eye patch.
Yes, we had eye patch Hook.
Hook.
Actually looked kind of cool on him.
Hook patch.
Captain Hook.
We can't say that, can we?
Is that allowed, chat? Is that allowed? But yeah, Hook is back. Man took it to everyone, and he looked like he's even better shape than he previously was. I feel like he even added a little bit of mass too.
He ate more Doritos.
Exactly, that's the way to do it.
Or sorry, potato chips.
Exactly. But yeah, so going back to the next segment, we had an Orange Cassidy interview. This is where, the tropical storm that's affecting the Carolinas and the Mid-Atlantic region in general. Orange Cassidy mentioned travel issues prevented the rest of the conglomeration from arriving, so he found some locals that can take the place of his fellow conglomerates.
So as soon as he said that, I posted, I could see it being one of two tag teams, and one of them was right, so I'm happy.
Who's your other team?
Hardys.
They're
in the area. That's where they live, close by, don't they?
That's true. Give them one last little hurrah with AEW.
It doesn't have to be a hurrah. It's just like I'm saying, like it's like Rally's not very far from where they were. So
I wonder what would have happened. I feel like though you would set up some fan expectations with that.
Yeah, man. Like I said, it's professional wrestling. We're in that era where like all sorts of crazy shit's happening now.
Exactly. And you want to talk about crazy. Look no further than the Hangman himself. We had the Hangman Adam Page interview. Justice delayed. Is justice denied? But look at me and believe me when I tell you that I will have what I want. Hangman Page is crazy, and I love this new Hangman we have.
It's just getting like, how do you want to call it properly? He's just getting like into like a rogue sort of character.
Oh yeah.
He's not for anybody, but he's not for himself. He's just doing work and breaking people or hitting people, breaking people, everything in between.
I mean, again, I love this character arc for him because, again, the crowd turns on him when he's the one who is a victim of Swerve's actions, but the crowd loves Swerve so much, and he's the new World Heavyweight Champion, and everyone's supporting him. And, we had the return of, the beer drinking Hangman, and he sees, the EVPs, his quote unquote friends, just completely misusing him and basically almost replacing him with someone he's got history with in Okada. Man, there's some deep stuff in there, and I respect and appreciate that. Exactly, Mac. Control chaos.
Yeah.
Control chows.
Control chows. I just thought about that. I was like, what the hell?
Sonic Adventure 2, baby.
Alrighty. What do we got here?
Other than that, we had another interview. We had, 3 interview segments in a row. Jim Ross having a sit-down interview with Swerve Strickland. I had to note on here that, Jim Ross really lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, he did.
I can only hope and pray for Jim Ross that it was, the good kind of weight loss, but with how much stuff he's been dealing with lately, you never know.
Yeah, because the last picture I saw about him was, I think it was like him and his daughters, and I don't know if he was checking out or he was just like more relaxed at the hospital. But like I said, who cares as long as he's doing better, as long as he's more functional.
Yeah. He was definitely slower than usual during this interview, and it was quite noticeable. But again, man's been through a lot, and plus, he's been through it. He's dealt with health issues for years, on top of a lot recently. So, I say everyone cut Jim Ross some slack. Legend deserves it. He's done a lot for this business. But, Swerve, man, this interview, it just shows me that Swerve still has amazing confidence, and he's got the confidence that you want as a world heavyweight champion.
You need as a world heavyweight champion.
Oh, yeah. So great on Swerve. He looked like $1 million in this interview, and it was fun, too, that he was wearing the exact same outfit that he just so happened to be wearing later on in the show.
Ooh, foreshadowing. Just kidding.
Yeah, but then we had the trios match. Orange Cassidy and his surprises. Ladies and gentlemen, OCFTR in the house.
OC, what do you guys, no, chat, what do you guys think is better? OCFTR or FTC?
All right, well, let's not get carried away there.
I'm trying to figure it out, but I don't know, I was sitting on my couch watching the episode. I wonder what sounds better. But hey, we had it. That was an excellent 6-person match.
Oh yeah, and we had a great team trio of Roderick Strong, who has literally been Mr. No Days Off, by the way. So again, huge shout out. Man has been in everything. Remember last week he was in Royal Rampage, he was at Battle of the Belts, and he was in Death Before Dishonor. So this guy is not taking any breaks. Roddy is such a goat, and I love and respect his work. And he was teaming up with 2 other great guys who I've been wanting to see more of as a team themselves.
Yeah, I agree.
Roosh and the Beast Mortos, who Mortos has actually been teaming up with the Kingdom recently. So it's nice to still see that relationship in tow.
You know who should have been in the match instead of Roddy?
Who?
Matt Taven.
Matt Taven, Mac. Is this where it happens? Is this where we open the doors there?
Well, let's discuss the match first, and then I'll discuss my thing. So,
all right. Well, like I said, Roosh and Mortos, great team. I love how Mortos kind of embracing almost that Wardlow role as
he's
their
more
kind
of
of
a
big muscle
threat
man.
than Wardlow.
Dude, when he gores someone, they stay down.
His spear looks better than some of the people in WWE's spear. Like him and Ricky Starks have better spears.
Dude, the stuff Mortos can do as a big, muscly man is crazy. Yeah. He can flip and fly like it's nothing.
they put that out earlier on in the show too. Like when he was coming down the ramp, he's like, he's a big dude. I'm like, yep. So.
Yeah. And we gotta also point out too that during this match, I think a lot of people were thinking that Mortos was going to be the one taking the pinfall here, but no, it was Roosh who did. Again, there's something there with Mortos that they are protecting, and I appreciate it.
I wanted to write notes and I wanted to put my opinion on this match tonight, but how do you put an opinion on a match where you click your pen down once and like 10 things happen, and then you break down a word and then 10 more things happen?
Oh yeah, dude, I have like 20 lines of notes on just.
I wrote down like 3 because I was like, no, I'm watching.
Yeah, everything was very fast and happened like immediately.
I've never sprinted to the washroom so fast.
We also appreciate the way they cut to commercial where Orange and FTR had to put their hands in their pockets, but FTR didn't have pockets, so they went in the trunks, and the fans were like, "Ooh,
Cash Wheeler." Short hair is Cash Wheeler.
Yeah, and then bald man is Dax the Axe.
I love how Cash had his hands in the air, and he looks over at Dax, and they're like, that's what. Yeah, so you gotta let that little bit of a connection. It's them just being idiots, but they're having fun with it. So it's like, yeah,
exactly.
They just showed up to throw fists, and then
well, flips, just fists, and again, they came out to have fun, and I love and appreciate that. Especially again, there's a big storm going on. I'm sure it's impacting their families, so I think having fun was.
We hope. You mean it's not? We hope it's not. We hope everyone's safe over there.
Yeah, please, everyone, if you are out there, please stay safe. But
it doesn't matter how, just be safe.
Yep. This match, though, like you said, was crazy, and we gotta also talk a little bit for the announcement that at All In London there will be a casino gauntlet match. This was announced.
To be in it. It's
during
official.
This match. Oh, you're not supposed to reveal that just.
I mean, Matt Taven's gonna be in it.
Listen, I have been wanting to see some semblance of the casino gauntlet. It's always fun. The match is always great. Don't get me wrong, but I miss the casino battle royale.
You know what? I'm surprised they didn't try and throw us a flashy name on it to match the vibe out that way.
Yeah, throw something. I cannot for the life of me think of anything. I'm not in a creative mindset of sorts.
Creative mindset. I'm just as plunder from down under.
Mac, that's actually a great point. I sometimes watch it with people, though, so I don't want to take voice notes when I'm watching with people. But I think this is that opportunity. We talked all about this match, and we talked about Orange Cassidy and FTR getting the victory. We could talk about that segment afterwards, but there's something Caesar's been wanting to talk about. Let's hear it.
All right. Pull up a chair, boys and girls. So, in the match, we had 2/3 of the Jackass committee. I mean the queendom. I mean the kingdom. Sorry, and they were sitting ringside as the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. Now, what did they do halfway through the match, Neek? What did they do halfway or so through? What did those two boys do? They jumped the rail, right?
Jumped the rail and had.
Now, who are they attacking? Who are they attacking? OC, right?
I believe so, yes.
Now, if you watch the clip back, it does not look like Matt Taven's even kicking him or hitting him. He looks like that friend who's like, oh yeah, just lightly tap me with your foot and make it look like you're kicking me. And then Mike Kanellis comes sprinting over and just starts decking him with his foot. I'm like, see, that looks believable. So I'm just like, Matt Taven, are you afraid to hit people? Like, what was going on in that moment? Like, I was crying from laughing in that 30 seconds he was kicking. So that's my rant, my PSA for the night.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. I will I'll give Bennett credit because I saw what you were talking about. Yeah, exactly. Mac bring up a good point. Those kicks from Matt Taven can just instantly kill anyone. So you gotta protect them.
Instantly kill people. What OC's kicks do? Ruin families?
Oh, absolutely, man. These are the two strongest kickers in all of professional wrestling. In all of the world.
Okay, hear me out. We're officially putting the World Championship down to the third last match of the night, and the last match of the night is Matt Taven versus OC in a kicks battle. There you go.
I don't even think the universe could handle a match of that magnitude, Caesar.
Yeah, it's just gonna be so many kicks that our brains are just gonna fall out of our asses.
Well, all right.
Anyways,
well, that's one way to put it. But hey, you know what we're going to be talking about? We're going to be talking about that moment where the Acclaimed came out, and they didn't have Billy Gunn Daddy Ass with them. It seemed that he might have also been one of the people who didn't make it to the. I'm glad that Mac will also be front row during that.
Plot twist.
Might have been one of the travel restrictions. Yes,
Matt's gonna be front row doing voiceover or voice notes, so he'll be doing front row.
Perfect.
No, I was gonna like. You know what really happened, right? Billy Gunn was actually in the building. He was just in the backstage. She's like, I'm not coming out there for that shit. No thanks.
No, I'm not having any of that. So Acclaimed, they come out there to disrespect FTR. They have their mic shut off. We always like to give a shout out to Okada for doing that.
No, it was an actual mic problem.
I know. I just like to keep it in the world where Okada says, none of that. And the Acclaimed get into a fight with FTR. And this is another instance where that security corps, the referee corps, everyone comes out, even Christopher Daniels, to go and break things up. Again, security has been busy this night.
Thank God we had Christopher Daniels on the ready, hey?
Exactly. This is where all of us chimed in the group chat at one point or another, where it was like the second pull-apart brawl tonight. My thought is, are they doing too many of those? What do you think, Caesar?
I don't know what part when I saw Max say this, but in this regard, no. It's getting close to what are we? 2 more shows left until the big one. So
yeah, about there. Yeah, 2 more shows.
I mean, like the last Dynamite, they should do a huge like shit show of a brawl. Like the last like 5-10 minutes of the actual episode, just have a complete gong show. So
right. I am personally just of the belief. I feel like if we do it too much, it just cheapens it for the amount of times they do it. I think if they do it here and there, yeah, it's different. And I'm always a fan too of when it's so crazy they have to bring the wrestlers out. And like Max said, you know, hey, good job on our guy CD.
He's handling business.
Exactly. That's the way you got to do it, man. So then we have the next segment, which was following these trios. We have the trios champions, those tag team champions, if you will. They are Christian and the Patriarchy. They made a few phone calls and they set up a match. On Collision, it's going to be the Bang Bang Gang taking on the House of Black for the Quadruple T Trios Tag Team Titles match. And whoever wins that match is going to go on to face the Patriarchy at Wembley Stadium.
Oh, don't worry. I heard that 1/5 of the 3/4, 5/10 tag champs are going to be in the building.
That's still one of my
holy crap.
One of my favorite little things is when Bullet Club Gold, they were 3/4 of the Trios champions. It's such a great little thing. Are we thinking both teams might win here?
That's such a stupid number. Honest to God.
Numbers.
Let's put the belts back on House of Black. I miss those House Rules matches. Those are cool.
They were. I like the concept of it.
Because
I agree with Mac. I think it's going to be a DQ for the qualifier and a 3-way in London. Seems like that's how they built it at Collision when both teams surrounded the Patriarchy.
I mean, I do agree with Mac. It should just do it that way. But my question is, let's say, yeah, okay. It ends as a 3-way, or it goes into a 3-way. Could we somehow make it so House of Black gets to use the house rules? Or would they still just have it as a 3-way?
I personally am a fan of the house rules only being when they're the champions.
Oh, okay.
Because I think otherwise they're kind of writing themselves into a corner. And I feel like they do that a lot. So I wanted to keep it as simple for them as possible.
So just a simple 3-way.
I'd say so, especially because you're going to have 9 guys wrestling at once. So it can get messy. My question, Caesar, do you think this will be the moment? And chat too, do you all think this will be the moment where Killswitch finally has enough and the Killswitchosaurus turns his tail on the Patriarchy and betrays Christian Cage, going back to Luchasaurus?
And bangs Nick's mom.
Well, I don't know if Mama Wayne will be a part of that, but do you think Killswitch will be turn his back on the patriarchy soon?
Yes.
All right.
The right time to do it, especially considering it's Wembley.
Yeah. Plus, it's been how long that they've just kind of been building up to this? Like what? Feels
long.
like a year or two at least, right?
Feels like too long, in all honesty.
At a certain, yeah, this is another one of those things where I feel like they've just kind of dragged it on too long.
He's like, woo, don't care. So
exactly. Chat, let us know how you feel about that. And speaking of woo, speaking of woo and having fun, we had a vignette for Hologram. I've really been appreciating the work of Hologram lately.
Okay.
This guy has been tremendous on Collision, and I hope that they show off more of him. What's up, Caesar?
So, not to cut you off, but I have some hilariously stupid things I've been reading about. Senor, Sir, whatever you want to call him. Okay, Mr. Hologram. And one of my favorite ones is some of the people they're suggesting who it could be. Now,
is there still doubt about who it could be?
Well, there's a lot of people going, "Oh, it's this person." Also, my favorite one, only because it's like, if this was this person who they're about to say, it'd be hilarious, a huge, like, out of left field suggestion. You ready for this?
Okay.
Someone was implying that it might be TJP. I was like, no, absolutely not.
Not
and they're like, how come? They're like, how come? And I'm like, well, first of all, look at TJP. He's busy with Japan and all those bookings. He's, I'm not mistaken. Isn't like the G1 just over or something like that, or it was going?
TJP is locked into a contract elsewhere. That will not be him.
I'm just saying, like, all these. No, I'm saying like all these like things that are saying that there's no way in hell it could be. So I'm gonna, and then the biggest one is, do you notice that TJP has tattoos? Hologram does not.
It was the same thing when people were saying, "Oh, it's Ricochet." No,
it'd be sweet if it was Ricochet.
Yes, for those who do not know, not to ruin any kind of illusion of this hologram, but it is Luchador, and I think he's been wrestling for quite a little bit, actually, like 15 years or so, as Aramis. Shout out to him. I know he's been wrestling AAA.
I was gonna say, yeah. So like, there's a whole, like, just for a good laugh, everybody. Wrong answers only. Who do you think Hologram actually is? I love these wrong answers.
It's not Aramis. We all know it's Ciclope.
I was actually gonna say it's actually Big Show, Paul White.
I can see that. Yeah, that size. Yeah. It makes sense.
No, you know what? It's official. It's Tony Schiavone.
Yeah.
Let's just go out in the open.
I want to talk about Paul White. He was definitely a legendary destroyer. I think about a lot of his handicap matches in WCW, but we had another destroyer in a handicap match. Camille the Brickhouse, with the CEO at her side, takes on Jasmine Howe and Clara Carter.
To quote Camille's Twitter, shout out to whoever had the Camille Country sign tonight. I saw that in the crowd and I was like, that's dope.
I love the Taz comment where it's those women look like Tony Schiavone at the production meetings.
Oh my god.
They did not look happy to be there. They were commentary was trying to cover for it, being like, oh, they're just, out here to basically be executed. But honestly, like, they just looked so bored and tired.
Yeah, they looked like they were like, well, let's get this shit over with.
I thought it was a cool spot, though, when Camille's putting the boots to one of them and the other tries jumping on her back and it's doing nothing. Yeah. Like they're trying anything. And it was the craziest thing because I can't believe Jasmine and Clara actually won. No, they didn't. Camille just absolutely crushed them and pinned them both, too. So I am always a fan of when it's a handicap match and the single wrestler in the match is the one who pins every single one of them. It's not just a pinning on one person. And it also, I've always hated it. This has bothered my OCD for years whenever, it's a 2-on-1, 3-on-1 match, etc. And they like stack the wrestlers up, but shoulders aren't touching, but they're still pinning them. That's always bothered me. So I'm glad this was the one that makes sense.
I was excited to see Camille actually getting some action. And it's good that she's actually being used properly as a powerhouse. So thank God for that. But after the match, the most exciting thing in the world happened. I'm gonna let you talk about that one because I hate this part.
Yeah, Caesar's favorite, Mercedes Moné. The CEO was actually grabbing the microphone and mentioned Britt's suspension,
her microphone should have gotten cut off tonight.
Not the acclaims. But so Mercedes talks about Britt Baker's suspension, and the way she framed it was the EVP Bucks who did it leading up to Wembley on her behalf. So that didn't stop her, though, from having a video package, because I guess when you're suspended, you're still allowed to do those. Britt Baker basically saying that, hey, the match is still on, and she appears via satellite that she is going to be the first person in AEW, the first woman to pin Mercedes Moné.
Oh, the minute that Britt wins, I'm gonna throw like a shovel or something out a window out of pure excitement.
But at that point, we have gotten through every single aspect of this episode of Tropical Storm Dynamite.
Woo!
So, Caesar, you know what time it is.
Hopefully, you guys are still doing well after that, amazing episode. What time is it?
Great.
It's that time of the night.
It's that time of the night. No, maybe not Matt Taven, but it's going to be time for the match of the night, powered by monq.com, monk.com. Hey, if you're going to go get your personal aromatherapy diffuser, some of them might even have CBD in it. Make sure you go and use promo code DSR10. You're going to get 10% off your purchase of Monk. And there's a lot of different flavors on there. There's a lot of different variety packs. Go check it out and make sure you use promo code DSR10. Get 10% off today.
Monk.com.
Exactly.
Code DSR10.
Also, Mac, we have to say, yes, that is something that I've been thinking myself and a lot of other things. There's something that just, it doesn't click. And I don't know if it's...
Maybe she's better as a heel?
I almost feel like there's a personality change that happened following her TIA.
You know what happened, right?
Huh?
It's because they're moving. Obviously.
Yeah, that'll do it. Hey, moving stress.
She's WWE inbound now because they're moving to a different city.
That's
the rule, right?
I don't even know what to say to that. But you know what? I do know what to say. I got the logic, and I know what to say here for the match of the night, powered by monk.com. And I'm going to take advantage of the opportunity that I'm hosting this to put the first match out there. I'm going to say MJF and Kyle Fletcher. That was my match of the night. That was fantastic. Kyle looked fantastic. MJF looked like a great champion, but Kyle Fletcher felt like a star following this. And it proves the point where you can lose the match, but still look great. So that was a
good job, Coyle. Good job.
Coyle Fletcher.
Coyle Fletcher. Way to be Coyle Fletcher. I was gonna say that one, but I'm not gonna ride your coattails on this one. I'm gonna get to the six man because, like I said earlier, I lost track of shit at one point because there was so much insanity going on.
It was fun,
but it was fun. There were times where you literally be like, okay, this commercial. That's all it was at one point. So kudos to those guys for that match.
I got to say, this was another one of those nights, and I say this week after week, how AEW has always been such a variety show, and tonight's show felt the same way. There was a little bit of something for everyone, and every match was different. And again, that's what I appreciate about AEW. Now, we're going to be going in our reverse order, and we're going to be talking about... Exactly. We're going to be talking about our segment of the night. This is brought to you by all of those fantastic Delphin Pod shows. Hey, if you like the Dirt Sheet Radio flagship show, then you're going to love a lot of these other shows on the Delphin Network. Go type in Delphin Pod Podcast. You're going to get Countdown to Infinity, Revenge of the Sequel, Dirt Sheet Radio, of course, Sitting Room, Countdown Strikes Back, and there's so many more. Go and check it out. There's a lot of great shows on the Delphin Pod Network. Caesar, what was your segment of the night?
I'm going to give it to the doctor on this one. It's good to see that instead of just do the typical thing where she runs in and does a shit kicking, she just, dare you say, she's letting it cook, letting it simmer. She's seeing things are going to go. And then, I hope they pull the trigger at All In and someone shows up. That'd be the perfect time for someone to show up. You know, that certain person shows up, the pop's going to go, and I might throw my laptop.
Oh, exactly. When Diamante shows up, it'll be crazy.
I was actually going to say Viva Ven. All right.
Get that payback from earlier.
Woo! Travel halfway around the world for some revenge. Psycho.
Makes sense. segment of the night for me.
Obviously, it was catering, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I gotta say, segment of the night. I'm gonna give a shout out. This isn't my pick because I'm not gonna count it because it was an internet exclusive. But I want to give a shout out here to that online segment where we had just everyone fighting and brawling. I thought that was nice, and the way they were kind of holding Jay Lethal back seems like they might do a match with Jay Lethal and Hangman in the near future. That's what it felt like it was building towards. But when it came down to segments, the one that really stood out to me the most when I look through this and think about everything we had, I gotta say I really enjoyed the Orange Cassidy interview where we talked with the conglomeration, because again, I'm just such a fan of him and Renee being like, I could be one of those people that like, oh, you're gonna
I hope that all they tell her is that she's doing a promo with OC and that's it. I hope so.
I just also want to always give a shout out where I can to OC. But we also, following our segment of the night, we'll look at who our jobber of the night is. This one's powered by NordVPN. Remember to go to comicbookclick.com/dirtysheetradio and scroll all the way to the bottom of the page and go and check out NordVPN, NordPass. They are going to be protecting you and keeping you safe from all of those threats on the internet, and will be also keeping you a little secret on the internet too. All right, but jobber of the night. Is this my turn?
In reverse order again.
Ah, man. You know
I got
what?
2 people, but it's reverse order, so you're first.
Yeah, there's quite a few options in this instance. I want to go with someone that was the literal jobber of the night. I'm going to go with Viva Van. She did her job, but I know. I wanted some more offense from her. She was able to get some stuff in during commercial break, but it's been
more offensive.
I will say it has been really cool how much they've been featuring her the last few months. So I hope that this is going to lead to some sort of big breakthrough in AEW, maybe a Ring of Honor run or something for her. She's a great talent. But yeah, I'm going to say Viva Van for this. Caesar, how about you?
I've got 2 names, and I know if our illustrious leader was here, he'd give me so much attitude for this. So I'm going to say this right now on this episode because he's not going to be here. I'm giving it to Mercedes Moné. Why? Because she's there. That's the only thing I'm saying. Like, I'm sorry, but I cannot tolerate that woman.
All right.
So,
John, if you're watching this,
she's holding 2 belts, and she's talking like she's like the top of the tower. But the 2 belts she's holding are open challenge championships. Like, she should be going across the ocean for the Japanese belt, while they should be coming to the US. And
she did give us a little bit of a vocal range from Camille, at least, so we got to hear.
I was so excited to hear Camille talk.
I wish it was going to be a little bit more than just what we were given, but I'll take it. A little bit. Give the fans something.
Tough girls don't talk; they fight.
So who is your other choice? You mentioned 2. Might as well throw it out.
You know who the other choice is, or should I say it?
Say it.
Not Taven.
Oh no!
Only because that shitty thing he did earlier. He had like those bitch ass kicks he did.
Kicks that got weaker as time went on. It kind of reminded me of like that Dark Order skit that went viral.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're going to be used as a credible threat, at least kick somebody. You're like do something properly, not just.
Hey, there we go. All right, and the final segment we have, when we have Jobber, of course, we got to follow that up with Megastar of the Night, powered by comicbookclick.com. Go check that out. Not even just /Radio. Check out every single thing on the comic book.
We'll even stay here and wait for you guys. Go check it out right now.
Yeah, there is pop culture news, comic book news. The Major Issues podcast is connected to there. Wrestling news. I'm right there. I'm one of the writers on there.
You might as well just go because he's there.
Exactly.
That's like the selling point right there.
Exactly. Any and all news you might want on there, go check out comicbookclick.com. But that brings our megastar of the night. Caesar, did you go last?
Yeah.
All right. Who's your megastar?
I want to give it to this unique pairing because it wasn't something I expected, but it was something I fell for.
Jasmine Howe and Clara Carter?
Damn it. No, it's the OCR or it's FTR or OCT.
OCFTR? Yeah.
OCD, yeah. Like, it was weird to watch because like like OC with OC he does his style, and then FTR they're just about fists and not flips. They hit, not jump. But then somehow it all worked together. It's like, what is this? I don't know what I'm watching, but I want to keep going. Hey, the match is over. What did I just watch? Like, so they sold me pretty good on that one. So those three, that unique conglomeration.
All right. I dig that.
Now the question is, who's your megastar?
Be honest. I will be absolutely honest here. I knew this the second I saw him, and this is going to be Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher. The way he flew onto MJF outside of the ring, threw into the crowd, and just went up to the stairs and posed with everyone, and the crowd was going nuts with him and for him. That just looked like such a cool star-making moment. And again, this is such a big way that AEW could drop this ball. They need to not do that because they've done it on a lot of promising talents who've had a lot of hype behind them. Look at, how everyone was hyped for Wheeler Yuta, and now nobody wants to see him take on Swerve. So I really hope that they keep momentum going on Kyle Fletcher. He's been a tremendous talent, and hopefully Sky Blue will take care of him this time around.
Yeah, giggity. I mean, what? No. I'm not trying to take your thunder on this one, but I will give you actual props. I'm not changing my megastar. I'm just agreeing with you. And yeah, like the past few days that you've seen Kyle on, Kyle Fletcher on TV, it's like you don't know what you're watching, but you still want to stay around. And Tony throwing these weird things at us makes you want to watch. Instead of you turning on going, oh, great, it's another episode with these 10 superstars. Like, I want to see not to quote my people, but the je ne sais quoi once in a while. So that's what we got tonight. We got a bunch of that tonight. We got the Kyle Fletcher, and then we got OCFTR. So, I mean, those two right there alone were just like, what did I just watch?
Absolutely. And what I'm going to say with Kyle Fletcher too, he holds his own. MJF has had so many, MJF has had so many opportunities this night and on previous nights dealing with this whole storyline. And it really feels like MJF had any and every opportunity to bury Fletch, and he did not do that. And I think Fletch came out looking much better because of that. And beast. Absolutely. And it looked like, Fletch can hold his own with MJF, one of the 4 pillars of AEW. And, he's a trusted confidant for Will frickin' Ospreay. This is
bruv.
Some big bruv.
It's all about the bruv.
All about the bruv. But on that note, hey, this has been us. So, hey, if you enjoyed hanging out with us, and what's up, Caesar?
AEW Dynamite.
Yes, this has been the Dynamite Recap Show. If you have enjoyed hanging out with us, we loved having you. We love talking with you, chat. Thanks again for joining us. Here's the biggest thing. If you enjoyed hanging out with us here, hey, maybe stick around for another couple hours, and we'll
hang out for the after episode.
Oh, exactly, because, hey, check this out. On every Wednesday night / Thursday morning, what are time zones? Time means nothing to us. There's going to be the lovely flagship Dirt Sheet Radio podcast. Hey, who's that on the right? Hey, it's me. The guy in the middle, you might have missed him. He was not on this show right now, but he will be with us for the flagship podcast tonight.
Later this evening.
Exactly. And hey, we are the Dynamite Recap Show, but again, Dirt Sheet Radio, we're always on. There are Sheet shows pretty much every single day of the week. So we're going to rapid fire some of these graphics. Make sure that you join us for the Raw post-show rewind. Caesar, who's on that?
I'm on there, so that's like your best reason to watch it. Always joined by the boys over there with sometimes John, got Tyler, the pro wrestling hipster, and the man himself, CJ, as well, sitting down discussing the Monday Night Raw episode. But then we switch over to the boys on the Tuesday night with NXT.
Woo! Yeah, we got the NXT post-show rewind, and the following night on Wednesday, of course, you're already here. It's the post-show.
You might know that podcast. You might know that one. It's probably your favorite one too. Admit it. It's your favorite one. Just say it now, guys.
Is. And of course, we're also going to have our boys with the TNA Impact post-show rewind, and I'm a part of the lovely SmackDown rewind. You might be able to catch. Friday Nick Mac John. We're going to have a lot of us on there. Sometimes
I'm seeing it now. Next SmackDown, it's Neek versus LA Knight for the US title. Let's go.
I'm ready for that open challenge, LA Knight.
Yeah, it's happening. Yeah.
Exactly. So we have a lot of people on here. Exactly. I'm one of the guys on here. John's one of the guys on here. Mac, who you've seen in the comments, he's also on this show. And we got our boys CJ.
It's a show.
Malik sometimes on there, and one of our friends, Brittany, she's occasionally on there as well. So go check that out. When I mentioned our friend Malik, go check out the 3NT show. These guys are tremendous fun. They talk about all kinds of things wrestling. And we got a graphic for them finally, so that is awesome to be able to see on there. And
graphic?
We can't forget about this graphic.
Let's go!
CJ and Tyler's Level Up Adventure.
Boys from NXT doing their thing on the Sunday, right? Sunday.
Exactly. Caesar, would you like to shout out your social medias to everyone joining us?
Well, as always, guys, I'm here every Monday and every Wednesday, and the occasional pay-per-view, PLE, whatever they call it this week. On the social medias, I go by @NoobTube. I would name all of them, but there are way too many ones to name, and we would be here for a whole other episode or two, and I don't want to do that. We want to hang out and have fun and talk about all this stuff called pro wrestling. What we should do is talk about the gentleman sitting next to me that you guys all probably have been staring at and wishing that you were friends with. I know Mac's friends with him. That's the man himself, the Dynamite, the Neek. And we'll talk about his social medias.
Hey, it's Neek Dynamite here. Honestly, don't do too much on the social medias apart from Dirt Sheet Radio. That's taking up a lot of my time, but you might notice a lot of stuff from Dirt Sheet Radio being shared by Nick LaRocco. So go and make sure you give him a follow, give him all the likes you want. Go on to make like 5 different Facebook accounts, give him follows and likes. Yes, what should you do?
They should all go to comicbookclick.com before the stream is over and make that their front page. Yeah, do that right now.
Oh, exactly. And hey, one of the things, Tony Hayes, how's it going, man? Listen, sometimes my dog Tilly will be doing a little run in here, so she might not do it right now. Exactly. Sometimes she's been known to kind of run in from time to time. So hey, keep watching, and you'll be seeing her.
With just Pokemon in the background.
Absolutely. That will probably get taken down absolutely immediately. But hey, you know what? This has been fun.
I have like a Squishmallow Pokemon. That's what I meant.
Gotta grab it. Gotta catch them all. And again, for Caesar. For our friends who might not have been with us, chat, this has been absolutely tremendous. I'm Nick LaRocco, Neek Dynamite, and again, we thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.